Picture a 5-year-old boy sitting on the floor with a wooden puzzle. He has one piece left. It doesn't fit. He tries it one way, then another. He flips it. He tries again. His brow furrows. He sets it down, picks it up, tries again. He doesn't cry. He doesn't call for help. He doesn't give up. His father is sitting 3 feet away drinking tea reading. He doesn't lean over. He doesn't say, try it this way. He just waits. And here's the thing. That isn't neglect. That isn't indifference. That is one of the rarest things in modern parenting, an unshakable belief that his son will figure it out. Japanese children are not born more persistent than yours. They are raised to become that way. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will have 3 ideas from Japanese parenting that will change how you see every single moment your child wants to quit. Now, I know the first thing you're thinking. We talk about grit all the time in the West. Every parenting book, every school assembly, every motivational poster. Believe in yourself. Never give up. You've got this. And yet, we rush in the moment our child struggles. We finish the sentence when they're searching for words. We solve the puzzle when they get frustrated. We do it out of love genuinely. But here's what developmental researchers have found. A child who is constantly rescued from difficulty doesn't build resilience. They build dependency. They learn at a very deep level that hard things require someone else to fix them. Cross-cultural studies comparing Japanese and American elementary school children have consistently found that Japanese children show significantly higher persistence on difficult tasks. Not because they're more naturally capable, but because they've been taught to relate to difficulty differently. The first concept at the heart of this is called ganbaru. Say it with me, ganbaru. The literal translation is something like to stick it out, or to see it through to the end. But that translation doesn't capture what the word actually does inside a Japanese family. Ganbaru isn't advice. It isn't a pep talk. It's a moral identity. When a Japanese child is told, ganbatte, which is the common form, you'll hear it isn't, you can do it. It's closer to, I expect you to give everything. I believe you are someone who does that. Do you feel the difference? In Western parenting, we tend to encourage from the outcome backward. You're so smart. You're so talented. You can do it. We attach our praise to what the child is or what we think they'll achieve. Japanese parents attach their belief to who the child is becoming through the act of trying. Angela Duckworth at the University of Pennsylvania, who spent years studying what she called grit, found something that Japanese parents have quietly known for generations. The single strongest predictor of long-term achievement isn't talent, it isn't intelligence, it's the willingness to keep going after failure. And that willingness, her research showed, is not a fixed trait. It's a skill that develops through practice. Your child is practicing right now every time they struggle with something hard. The question is whether you're giving them the chance to practice. And this is the one I think about the most, honestly. Every instinct I have says to step in, to help, to make it easier. And I've had to learn slowly to trust the struggle instead. Now here's where it gets more interesting. Because ganbaru is about the energy of effort. But there's a second concept that shapes how Japanese children direct that effort, and it might be the one that surprises you most. It's called kodawari. Literally, the word means something like obsession or stubbornness, which in English sounds like a flaw. In Japan, it's a virtue. Kodawari describes a deep personal commitment to doing one specific thing exactly right. Not quickly, not impressively. Right. A master sushi chef who has spent 40 years perfecting the temperature at which he presses rice has kodawari. A 7-year-old who insists on refolding her origami crane until every crease is perfectly symmetrical has kodawari. Western education tends to reward speed. Finish first. Move to the next thing. Cover more ground. We value breadth over depth. And children absorb that. They learn that done is better than perfect. That getting through is more important than getting it right. Japanese children are taught the opposite. That how you do the small thing tells you who you are. Carol Dweck at Stanford spent decades studying what she called mastery orientation versus performance orientation. Children who are oriented toward mastery, who care about getting something right, regardless of how they look, show dramatically higher persistence, higher creative problem solving, and recover faster from failure. Children oriented toward performance who care most about how they appear to others give up sooner when things get hard. They can't afford to struggle. Struggling might mean they're not as good as people think. Japanese parenting naturally builds mastery orientation, not through lectures, but through the culture of doing one thing, slowly, carefully, completely. What this means for your child is this. When you let them do something imperfectly slowly in their own time without rushing them to the finish line, you are building something that no amount of praise can build. You're building a child who cares about the quality of what they do, and eventually a child who cares about the quality of who they are. But here's the third piece, and honestly, I think this one is the most underrated. Ganbaru and kodawari explain the how of Japanese persistence. This next concept explains the why. It's called kansha. Kansha. Translated literally, it means gratitude. But again, the translation doesn't do it justice. Kansha isn't the gratitude of, I'm thankful for what I have. It's something more specific and more demanding. It's the awareness that your ability to try your health, your time, your opportunity came from other people's effort and sacrifice, and that to waste your effort is in some way to waste theirs. Before every meal in Japan, children say, itadakimasu. Roughly, it means, I humbly receive. They're not just thanking the food. They're acknowledging the farmer, the cook, the person who paid everyone whose effort made this moment possible. It's a daily practice of recognizing that you exist inside a web of other people's work. And Japanese parents extend that same awareness to effort itself. When a child wants to give up, the question isn't just, what do you want? It's, who made it possible for you to be here trying this? That shift from individual desire to relational responsibility changes the texture of effort completely. Researchers studying pro-social motivation have found that children who feel a sense of connection to others who feel they are part of something larger than themselves show significantly higher persistence on challenging tasks than children motivated purely by individual goals. The sense that I'm doing this for something beyond me provides a fuel that, because I want to, simply cannot sustain over time. Your child doesn't need to be told to try harder. They need to feel that their trying matters to someone. So here's what I want to give you that you can start using before this week is over. Principle 1, the ganbaru phrase. The next time your child is about to give up on something hard, don't say you can do it. Try this instead. Keep going. I'll wait. Those 4 words tell your child that the struggle is expected, that you're not going to rescue them, and that you believe there's someone who sees things through. Principle 2, the one thing rule. Pick one activity your child does regularly, a puzzle, a drawing, a simple chore, and let them do it again and again without your commentary. No good job, no corrections, just presence. Let them develop their own relationship with the quality of that one thing. That is the beginning of kodawari. Principle 3, the gratitude link. At the end of the day, ask your child one question. What did someone else do today that made it possible for you to try something? It might be the teacher who taught them, the sibling who waited, you who drove them there. Connect their effort to the people around them. Let them feel that their trying is part of something larger than themselves. Give it 3 weeks. Watch how your child starts to meet the hard things. Ganbaru, kodawari, kansha, persist, commit, be grateful. These aren't techniques for making your child more obedient or more impressive. They're 3 ways of teaching your child what it means to be someone who doesn't stop. Someone who cares, someone who belongs to something bigger than the moment when things get hard. Children don't need easier lives. They need to discover that they can handle the hard ones. If this gave you something to think about, share it with another parent who needs to hear it. And if you want more on child psychology and how the world's best cultures raise emotionally strong kids, subscribe. There is a lot more coming. See you in the next one.